recently shared a video with my community on the 3 secrets that I learned while working behind the scenes of 5 multi-million-dollar coaching companies. Now, as I said, I recorded this for my community, but I got such a positive response from it. People were really glad that I shared this with them that I thought I would bring it here to you and share. So go watch. I want to give you 3 secrets that I learned while working behind the scenes of 5 multi-million-dollar coaching brands. And more importantly, how you can use those to grow your coaching business faster. Now, if you don't know me already, I'm 𝘁𝗿𝗂𝘁𝗵. I am a coaching business growth specialist. As I said, I've worked behind the scenes of multi-million-dollar coaching brands, and I've learned a lot during that time that actually took me a while to realize how it actually conveys to the solo coach. That's you and I who are wearing all the hats and running everything in our business as just essentially one person. So I want to keep this video really short and concise. I mean, who wants to sit and watch another 45-minute video? I don't necessarily, and I don't think you do too. So I'm going to try to keep this really, really short, but effective, efficient, okay? The purpose of this video is to teach you some things that I think you need to know about your coaching business and the coaching business industry as a whole, and some of the problems that it might be creating for you in terms of getting in the way of your growth, okay? I've shared with you who I am and some of my background, but I also want to say the reason that I call these secrets, and I'm a copywriter. I know we've beaten that word to death, but I really mean this in the sense of most people, most coaches, solo coaches don't know these things, right? It's just not shared, and it's not necessarily that it's intentionally not shared. It just isn't, I think, something that is in the traditional, marketing teaching or coaching business growth teaching. So I call these secrets because they are literally unknown things for the most part. And I want you to stick with me because number 3 is going to be something that I think will help you be able to get clients more immediately, okay, rather than long term. So the very first secret here is experimenting. Big coaching brands, multi-million-dollar coaching brands, experiment a ton. I want you to get really comfortable with experimenting. And by experimenting, I don't mean you have to get super technical and do split tests and, analyze a ton of data. I just want you to get comfortable with throwing stuff out there for the sake of seeing if you get interest, right? The super basic elements of experimenting and testing, naturally we resist. We're afraid to put something out there because we want it to be perfect. We want it to reflect who we are and our mission, and we want it to help people. And so we hold back when what you really need to do is essentially fail faster. You need to throw stuff out there. Did I get feedback on that? Did somebody say they were interested? Did I get a sale? Did I get a comment on a post? So that you can learn very quickly what works for you. Now, I share a framework called Level Up that I developed over all of these years of working behind the scenes of multi-million-dollar coaching brands. And I'll very quickly go tell you what each letter stands for. We're not going to go into it heavily because I'll save that for another training video for you. But essentially it is list growth, email marketing, visibility, energy, lead to sales, and then upgrading your skills and practicing consistency. This is what I work within every single day. And if you keep your attention here, then you will work on what is actually growing your business. Okay. So just remember that. Level up. That's the framework I always work within. So experimenting with list growth. What's the best ways that works for you to grow your list? Experimenting with your emails, meaning what gets a response? What style is really me? Experimenting with visibility, what methods of visibility, and so on. You get the idea here, okay? Very, very important. Get comfortable with experimenting. It is the only way you're going to learn what works for you and your business and what's going to help you grow faster, okay? The big companies do it on such a large scale that, it makes your head spin. But you can still do this on a smaller scale in a way that's super effective for you. Secret number 2, long runway versus short runway. And this is a big one. And this one is kind of a passion. That's a nice way of saying it. I think maybe it's a passion of mine because it's such a point of confusion and misunderstanding. So a lot of the coaching businesses or companies that you see out there who are super, super successful, not all of them, but a lot of them, part of how they got there was a short runway, meaning they ran ads. They ran paid ads. So remember I talked about experimenting and testing? They can or you can use paid ads to do that. Paid ads essentially get you in front of a whole bunch of people in a very short amount of time. Okay. So you're able to get visibility in a short amount of time, test something and move on. You're able to take something that you know is already working, that already sells, get it in front of big quantity of people, and you know that you're guaranteed then to make a certain percentage of sales no matter what, because it's a numbers game. So they're using paid advertising at a pretty high level, meaning a fairly decent ad spend consistently every single day to grow their list faster, to gain visibility faster, to then turn around and be able to email to this list, right? To put offers in front of. And so they are growing very, very quickly. And so you see this high level of success. It might feel like it's an overnight success, which is very, very rarely the case, right? However, they are growing faster because they're on a very short runway. Now, the downside to that is they don't have a whole lot of time to plan or figure out if something is going to work. They're kind of throwing spaghetti on the wall at a high cost, a high dollar cost, right? But they have the budget to do so, and they're willing to do so. For most of us as solo coaches, we're on what I call a long runway. That means we're having to take a more organic approach. There might be some paid ads in there here and there, but it certainly isn't running daily, and it certainly isn't a high budget, and there may be none at all. What that means is we have to accept that it is just going to take us longer. Both the short runway and the long runway work really, really well. They both do. One is just faster, one takes longer. And the longer one, you have more time to plan, right? More time to prepare and figure out. The short runway, you don't have a whole lot of time to prepare for that takeoff, but you do with the long. So there's good and bad for both. So know where you are, know which runway you are on. If you're on a long runway, but you see all these coaches out there who are on a short runway and you're comparing yourself to them, it's not apples to apples. Don't do it. It's not going to help you, okay? And know that you may just be on a long runway for a short period of time until you're able to shift to the short runway or have a combination of both, okay? I don't want you to jump into running paid ads until you have validated whatever it is that you're going to offer in those ads. Meaning, I want you to know that it's going to sell, or at least that it has a really good chance of selling, that you've sold some already before you go spending the money on the ads for it. Because what happens and what is so hard to see is when coaches jump on the paid ads wagon, they don't know a whole lot about it. They haven't validated their offer. They spend thousands of dollars on ads and nothing works. Now, I want to also say that many big brands use paid ads to test. And so they know they're going to spend, $3,000 to test whether this product will sell, and it may not, and they're okay with it because they've budgeted for that, right? They know they may lose that money. It's okay. They're moving at a high volume, high pace, high budget, that's part of their strategy. But for most of us, it is not okay to lose $3,000 to test whether a product will sell or not. And there are other ways we can test that on the long runway, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Specifically in like growing your list, for example, I'll just give you this extra little tidbit here. If we participate in something like bundle giveaways, where you are providing something for free in this event that a whole bunch of people are providing free offers so that when it's promoted to everyone's list and community, people can opt in to get your free thing. And typically this is more than just your lead magnet. So it might be like a mini course, for example. It's a really great way to validate a product, right? Is your mini course that you're giving away for free, did you get a high number of opt-ins for that, like above average? Turn it into a paid product, right? On the back end of that free offer, so they opt in for your free mini course, you can have, in a lot of these events, you're allowed to then have a paid offer. Another great way to get in front of a whole lot of eyeballs in a short amount of time. See where I'm going with it? Similar to the short runway, right? With paid ads, except this isn't requiring money. It may require a little bit more of your time, but it's going to require one or the other, time or money. So there's a little extra tidbit there around secret number 2. Secret number 3. And this is the one that's going to help you get clients more immediately rather than 6 months from now, right? And this is kind of the approach that I really hope you follow. When you become a coach, you're taught to, most of us are taught to create a core offer, right? A program that is our base program that we offer everyone. And this program is usually, it's not just a one-off call or one-off workshop or class. It's usually a series of things, right? And so we put all this work and effort and time into putting it together, and we put it out there to sell, and nothing happens, right? And there's a few reasons for this. And we come back to that framework, level up, right? And we look, list growth. Do I have a list big enough to be a big enough sample size to result in sales? Do I have, am I emailing this offer enough, right? It takes being something an average of 25 times before someone takes action on it. That's a lot. Am I getting enough visibility? And so on. So we can look at it from that perspective. We can also look at it and say, have we validated that the pieces of this main core offer program that I've created is what my people actually want and need? Or is it what they will spend money on? And so I want to teach you this micro solutions approach, which is my secret number 3, to developing, not only getting clients more quickly, more immediately, but developing your core program. This is something I learned when I managed digital products, like low tier, like $7 products, $37 products, $97 products behind the scenes of these multi-million-dollar companies. When you look at your ideal client, a day in the life of your ideal client, from the time they wake up to the time that they go to sleep, think of that span of time as they're either moving towards their big desired outcome or away from it. What's getting in the way all throughout their day of that big desired outcome? I use weight loss as a very common example. So if I want to lose, 50 pounds, and I've been really, really struggling with it. And the first thing in the morning I wake up and I start thinking about food fantasies, right? Like everything I get to eat today. But I immediately shut it down and get very frustrated because no, I'm on this diet. That means I can't have that and I can't have that. And so now, before I've even gotten out of bed, my mood is wrecked when it comes to food. And chances are pretty high that I'm just going to say, F it, I'm going to go ahead and eat what I want today because now I'm just frustrated, right? So you can create a solution, a micro solution. So what that means is just a small piece of the bigger solution to solve one small problem, because this problem, even though it's a small one, it is certainly getting in the way of my big desired outcome. It's not everything I need to do to reach that outcome, but it's a piece of it. So you can create one small product. It might be a mini course. It might be a method with a worksheet, kind of like journaling sheet. It might even just be a call with you, right? You don't necessarily have to create something. You can offer a one-off session with you, give it a name that's relevant, right? It can be super simple. Put this out in front of your list, in front of your community, and see if you get responses. Ask people if they're interested in this, if they'd like to book a call, if they'd like to purchase this product, or even if you're just thinking about creating it, tell them and ask them to hit reply and let you know if this is a common problem they experience. That can be a form of validating. Even if you just get one person that says, hey, yeah, I'd be interested, move forward to the next step, create it. Put it out there. Do this, 5 to 7 times, 3 to 5 times, how many ever levels, modules, steps you want in your core program, and you have your core program fully validated. You know that every piece of it actually solves a problem that your clients have and that they want help with, that they'll pay for help with. So not only can you get clients immediately, but you can build your core program validating it every step of the way. And as I said, in regards to bundle giveaways, you can take, let's say that you created a solution for that morning mindset around food, right? Make it the free mini course or free like exercise, and which might be like a video and a worksheet or a journal exercise that you're giving away in the bundle giveaway. So you're not only going to grow your list with it, but you're going to validate it, right? And then you can turn it around, if it does well, turn around and make it a paid product, offer it to your list. If it does well, turn around and make it step 1 of your core program. You see what I mean? So these are the things that aren't often talked about that led to the success in these big multi-million-dollar coaching companies. Understanding that experimentation is part of the game, as much as I hate to call it the game, right? It is part of what you must do. You must get comfortable with that. And part of experimenting now is also leveraging AI in your business in a way that's actually helpful and actually helps you grow it faster rather than just taking you down another rabbit hole of wasted time and energy. Okay. As one person, as a solo coach, you don't have to have a human team anymore. You can have a non-human team and grow really quickly if you know how to use it. That's part of experimenting. Knowing which runway you're on. Right now, am I on the short runway or am I on the long runway? Or am I on a combination of both? And not comparing yourself if you're on the long runway to others who are on the short runway that make it appear to have overnight success. And then, of course, using this micro solutions approach to creating offers, even just ideas for offers, and getting it out there in front of your people very quickly. And I hear you when you say, Michelle, I don't have a list yet. So even if I have this idea or I create this little product, who am I going to sell it to? Again, come back to the framework. What's number 1 in that? Level up, list growth. Start growing your list. That is your priority.